At 82, I've learned a thing or two about life. I've seen my share of highs and lows, joys and heartaches. I thought I was ready for anything. But you know what I truly regret? Moving into a nursing home. At the time, it seemed like the right choice. My family said it'd be easier here, that I'd get the care I needed and finally relax, free from the daily grind. I imagined it'd be like slipping into a comfortable retirement, my golden years wrapped in peace. But reality hit hard. This place didn't bring me relief. It took far more than I ever expected. I lost what made my life truly mine: my freedom, my daily routines, even my sense of self. And the hardest part? Once you realize you've made a mistake, there might not be a way back. I know many of you might be facing this same crossroads. Maybe you're considering this move yourself. Maybe your family insists it's for the best. Or perhaps you're thinking about it for your parents. Whatever the case, before you decide, I want you to hear what I wish I'd known before I took that step. Today, I'll share the 6 things I regret most, how my life changed after moving here, and why I'd give anything to turn back time. Some of this might surprise you, but it's important. If you or someone you love is thinking about a nursing home, please listen close. It might just save you from a decision you'll later wish you could undo. Let's begin. Losing my independence. Ever stop to think what real freedom feels like? It's not just traveling or choosing where to live. It's the little things. Waking up when you please, sipping coffee from your favorite mug, deciding how to spend your day. Before the nursing home, I took that for granted. But I learned fast. Independence is fragile. When I first moved in, it didn't seem so bad. My room had my things, the staff was kind, and everything felt tidy. But soon, I noticed my days weren't mine anymore. Breakfast at 7 sharp, hungry or not. Lights out at 8, walks penciled in like appointments. Want to step outside on a whim? You'll need to track down a staff member, wait for a free moment, and then get permission. The hardest pill to swallow? Even small choices slip away. One night, I asked for a cup of tea before bed. The reply was polite but firm. Kitchen's closed after 6. That's when it hit me. Something as simple as a bedtime drink had become a luxury. I watched others go through the same thing. At first, they'd protest, cling to their quirks, but over time, they stopped pushing. They stopped asking. They just followed the rules. One day, I wondered, if I can't control my own schedule, how much of my life am I really controlling? Here's the truth. A nursing home isn't just a new address. It's a whole new way of living. And the first thing to go? Your independence. So if you're thinking about this, ask yourself, are you ready to hand over the reins on life's little choices? Because without them, it stops feeling like your life. Feeling invisible. When I first moved to the nursing home, I was sure my family would stay close. Those first few weeks, my kids and grandkids visited often, bringing my favorite treats, sharing stories, asking how I was settling in. I clung to those visits like a lifeline, proof I still mattered in their world. But slowly, the visits dwindled. My daughters switched from weekly stops to quick phone calls. The grandkids got busy with school, jobs, their own lives. I don't blame them. Life moves on. But here's the truth. When you're out of sight, you start fading from their minds. Holidays cut deepest. That first year, they promised we'd spend Christmas together. I wrapped gifts tailored to each grandchild's hobbies. Then, last minute, "Dad, the kids are swamped. We'll come after New Year's." I smiled and said I understood. But inside, something broke. Loneliness here is thicker than fog. You see it in the other residents, folks who once had homes full of laughter, now just staring at windows, hoping for a familiar car. We tell ourselves, they're busy. But that doesn't dull the ache. The cruelest part? You stop reaching out because you don't want to burden them. You notice your daughter's tired sigh, your grandson avoiding eye contact. One day, you just put the phone down. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to become a footnote in your family's story? Because distance doesn't just stretch miles, it rewrites memories. And that's a hurt no medicine can fix. Losing my purpose. What gets you out of bed each morning? Not an alarm clock, that fire inside whispering, you matter. Before the nursing home, my days had rhythm. Watering my geraniums, baking my grandkids' favorite thumbprint cookies, debating politics with Hank next door. Small things, sure, but they added up to a life that felt like mine. Here, they stripped even that. I asked for a potted plant to tend. Against the rules, they said. Then they handed me a kiddie coloring book. Join the art group. As if my hands forgot 80 years of living. Back home, I mattered. Helped my son fix his truck. Taught my granddaughter to balance a checkbook. Rocked my great-grandbaby to sleep. Now, my biggest decision is soup or salad at lunch. Once, I offered to help the nurse sort meds. I was a pharmacist, after all. She patted my arm. Don't trouble yourself, dear. The worst moment? Overhearing staff plan a facelift for the lounge. Let's hang modern art, one said. Old folks love bright colors, I wanted to shout. Give us landscapes. Something that feels like home. But I stayed quiet. Here, even the walls remind you. Your voice doesn't count. Before you consider a nursing home, ask, what's left of you when they take away the things that made you you? When your skills, your quirks, your story get reduced to a name on a pill bottle. Purpose isn't just breathing. It's believing you still have something to give, even if it's just to yourself. Losing pieces of yourself. Ever held an object that felt like it held a piece of your soul? A pocket watch? A framed photo? A dog-eared book? These were my anchors to the past. When I moved, they told me, bring only essentials. So I left behind boxes of family albums, letters from my late wife, the tools I'd used to fix up our home. Why drag all that here? I thought. There's no space anyway. But within a month I realized I hadn't just left things. I'd abandoned parts of myself. My room here looks like a hotel suite. Sterile walls, standard-issue furniture, no trace of the life I lived. Once, I asked staff to bring my seashell collection, gathered over 50 summers. Fire hazard, they said. I stared at those empty shelves, realizing even memories have rules now. My neighbor Margaret once showed me the only photo she has left of her husband. The rest stayed in our house, she whispered. The new owners tossed him. Her voice trembled, but no tears came. Here, we learn to live without the artifacts that made us us. If you're considering this move, ask, are you ready to become a person without a story? Someone whose past fits in a shoebox? Shoved into an attic? Because when the objects vanish, so do the memories they hold. And without those, who are we? Just a name on a doorplate. The lie of care. We'll take good care of you. I heard that promise a dozen times. But what does it mean? My first month here, my back ached. I asked for the massage therapist mentioned in the brochure. The nurse shook her head. We only do group stretch classes. Picture 20 people, half with dementia, half in wheelchairs, while some kid yells, reach for your toes. Care here is an assembly line. They feed you, bathe you, move you from bed to chair. But that's not care. It's maintenance. When I slipped in the shower, they scolded, Yell louder next time. How do you yell when shame chokes your voice? Once, I saw an aide snap at a woman for dressing too slow. "Hurry up, Ethel." Ethel stared at the floor like a kid scolded for a failing grade. That's when I knew. This place has schedules, protocols, checklists, but no room for compassion. Before trusting a nursing home, ask, do you want care or just maintenance? Care warms your soul. Maintenance just keeps the body ticking. And without a soul, you're a clock waiting to wind down. The point of no return. The true horror begins when you realize there's no way back. My old house is sold, my belongings scattered, this room my only home now. Even if I wanted to leave, where would I go? My kids have their own lives, my friends are gone or in places just like this. Once I asked my son, what if I change my mind? He wouldn't meet my eyes. Dad, you agreed to this. We can't undo it. No malice in his voice, just exhaustion. And that's when it hit me. This choice didn't just steal my freedom. It erased my role in the family. I'm no longer a father who decides. I'm a problem they solved. Every day, I watch new residents arrive with hope. They joke, hang photos, invite family to visit. Then, a month or a year later, their eyes go dull. They stop glancing at calendars, stop waiting. So if you're facing this decision, ask yourself one last question. Are you ready to wake up one morning and realize every door behind you is locked? To find your life reduced to a hallway, you pace until your legs give out? Because a nursing home isn't a fresh start. It's the final chapter, and you can't rewrite the ending. Today, I've shared 6 things this place took from me. But hear this, I'm not against nursing homes. Sometimes there's no choice. But if you do have one, fight. Fight for your home, your routines, your right to make mistakes. Old age isn't a disease. It's a season of life, and you can't cram it into schedules, sterile walls, or someone else's rulebook. If these words mean something to you, pass them on. Talk. Listen. Really hear each other. And remember, imperfect freedom is better than a gilded cage. Thank you for being here today. Hold tight to the life you've built, while you still can. If you found this worth hearing, consider subscribing or sharing with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, friends, keep your hearts light and your stories close.